Alhamdulillah wahda wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da amma ba'd. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik wa arham ala abdika wa rasulik Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabiyyil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sallim taslima. I will inshallah ta'ala now first finish the few verses we had left yesterday from Juz 7. I apologize, I was not feeling well yesterday, so we had to end early. So first we're going to finish the verses that will remain from Juz 7, and then inshallah ta'ala I will end this stream. After a short break I will start the next stream, which will be of Juz 8. Inshallah, and I will explain that to you, how that will work when we end. So we are to Surah Al-An'am. Surah Al-An'am, the cattle, verses 46 to 47. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أرأيتم إن أخذ الله سمعكم وأبصاركم وختم على قلوبكم من إله غير الله. That do you not see when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took your hearing and He took your sight and He set a seal on your hearts? Who is there who can be considered a God or deity غير except for Allah ta'ala, other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Alright, so this was continuing the earlier passage that we had done, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was addressing those people who had left Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, chosen to disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to deny belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in many different places in the Quran al-Kareem. What this means, it can be taken literally that Allah Ta'ala removed their hearing and sight, but what it means is Allah Ta'ala removed all of the means by which they could come at Iman. So they chose not to accept Iman, not to believe. So Allah Ta'ala removes their hearing, their ability to comprehend and understand Wahi, revelation, kitab, scripture. Wa absarakum, they can still see, but Allah Ta'ala removes their ability to perceive the nur in Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the ability to see the nur in for previous communities of disbelievers, previous anbiya. And then third, khatama ala qulubikum, third, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seals their heart. Well, the ultimate, this is also we understand from a tertib. Yes, we need all three, but the ultimate faculty of spiritual understanding or arriving at Iman is the qalb, is the spiritual heart. So we've explained this several times before, that when Allah Ta'ala sets a seal on the spiritual heart, it's a heart that is already turned away from Allah Ta'ala, has already received guidance from Allah Ta'ala and refused and rejected that guidance. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically continues them on this path. So this metaphor of sealing the spiritual hearts is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used many, many times in Quran al-Kareem. Another aspect of absar can be, I mentioned Nur al-Nubuwah, it is also that they can no longer perceive the ayat of Allah Ta'ala, the signs of Allah Ta'ala in Allah Ta'ala's physical creation. So mashallah, there was a time when people who used to look at the stars and the galaxies and the night sky, that would make them remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But now there is a time when people look at that and they feel nothing, or they're unable to perceive the physical wonders of the physical creation as signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So man ilahun ghayrullahi ya'tikum bihi, which deity is it other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Man ilahun ghayrullahi ya'tikum bihi, which deity is it other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who will return them to you, who will bring them to you once Allah ta'ala has taken these faculties away. Undur kayfa nusarrifu al-ayati, that why don't you gaze and behold, Allah ta'ala saying how we vary the different signs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala varies the different signs in this world. But these people, summahum yastifun, nonetheless thereafter they still turn away. They still turn away. Qul, proclaim to them, beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ara'aytakum in ataakum adhabullahi, do you think to yourselves, ara'aytakum, so literally ara'aytakum, do you show to yourselves, means do you think to yourselves, do you yourselves consider to yourselves, right? So think to yourselves, in atakum adhabullahi, that if the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to come upon you baghdatan, suddenly, or jahratan, or visibly, openly, manifestly, hal yuhlaku illa al-qawm al-zalimun, that who would be annihilated and destroyed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except the community or the people who were zalimun, who were wrongdoing and unjust. So what does this mean? This means that the punishment may fall upon such wrongdoers suddenly or openly, either they're aware or they're unaware. It could be at night when they're sleeping, it can be in daylight, it can be any type of punishment, it can be gradual, it can be swift. And Allah Ta'ala is going to mention in many places in the Quran, although we may not be discussing them in detail, but what happened to previous communities, Nuh alayhi salam, Lut alayhi salam, the tribes of Ad and Thamud. It's coming in Juz 8, inshallah. Verse 50. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he himself should explain what does it mean to be a messenger. Alright? Qul, say to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, La aqulu lakum indi khaza'inullah, that I do not say to you that I have the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 2, Wala a'lamu al-ghayba, nor do I say to you that I know the unseen. Number 3, Wala aqulu lakum inni malak, and nor do I say to you that I am an angel. In attabi'u illa ma yuha ilayya. In I only and only attabi'u, I absolutely follow, illa, nothing other than ma, everything that has been yuha, revealed, ilayya, to me. Okay? I only follow that which has been revealed to me. So this is Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam explaining in response to their mocking, their ridiculing, their questioning, their challenging. But it's also Allah Ta'ala teaching the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and training, doing tarbiyah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that you must repeatedly proclaim to people what is the true concept of Nabuwah and what is not, rectify the false concepts of Nabuwah. And then give them example. Qul, proclaim to them, Hal yastawi al-a'ma wal-basir, that can the blind and the one who sees, can they ever be the same? Afala tatafakkarun, if only then will you not reflect? Would you not reflect? So this is something that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioning, and here again it can refer to literally physical, that the one who's physically blind is not the same as the one who can physically see, but what is meant here is the one who is blind to revelation, blind to the signs of Allah Ta'ala, blind to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can you compare that to the one who perceives these things and then believes it? So again, this is referring to spiritual understanding and knowledge and iman. Verses 52 to 53, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning who are the ones who are sincere and who are the ones who are going to be true. Wala tatrudil. So this is going to be referring to an incident. Let me maybe explain the incident first. So say now, this is, remember again, Surah Al-An'am is from the Meccan revelations, a Meccan surah. So Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was once sitting in the early Meccan period, as he used to sit with a group of his companions, his halakha, and then there were some of the elites, economic elites, tribal clan elites of Makkah Mukarramah, who also wanted to come. They were open, in a sense, they were open to hearing what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to say, but they were not open to sitting with all classes of society who were already sitting there and listening to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this would be maybe people like Sayyidina Bilal or other people from Habash or slaves or etc. So these elites did not want to sit with them. So they asked Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, can you please send these people away? Now, there are different narrations in hadith that the ulama of tafsir have relied upon here. One narration is that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not send them away, but he told them, okay, why don't you move to the side or move to the back or let these people come to the front. And the second possibility is that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a special gathering for these elite Meccans so that they would feel quote unquote comfortable. Alright? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then sent this revelation. This is very similar to what we're going to do inshallah on the last day in the 30th Abasa wa Tawalla. This is Sayyidina Rasulullah Sallallahu own sincere wish that the leaders of Makkah Mukarramah should also give a chance and hear what he has to say, because he was hopeful and desirous of them accepting Iman. And as you know, a person would say, okay, well, these are my own friends, and they'll understand, they'll make space, they'll give place. But as in Abasa wa Tawalla, here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down revelation telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam not to do this. وَلَا تَطْرُدِ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْأَشِيِّ, and do not turn away and do not drive away those who make dua to their Rabb, they call upon their Rabb in the morning and evening. يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ, seeking the expression of the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His divine attention. مَا عَلَيْكَ مِنْ حِسَابِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, and nothing of their, you're not accountable to them in anything. You're not accountable to them in anything. وَمَا مِنْ حِسَابِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, and nor are they accountable for you in anything, such that you should فَتَطْرُدَهُمْ, such that you should drive them away. فَتَكُونَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ, and thereby you, Allahu Akbar Kabir. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran saying to Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَتَكُونَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ, and thereby you would become one of the unjust. Now, what does this mean? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying is, don't do it lest you become one of the unjust. Or you did it, okay, you did it out of sincerity because you were concerned and you were desirous that those elites would accept Iman. But remember the other verses of Revelation that we've done, that the only al-balagh, the only duty that is incumbent upon you is to deliver and communicate and proclaim the message. So therefore remember that and stop doing this. If you were to continue to drive them away, or ask them to part, or ask your simple companions to move away, or to leave the gathering, or to part ways so elites can come and listen, if you were to continue to do so, then fatakuna min al-dhalimin. Right? So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guiding the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the most important thing, how to be a Nabi. This is deen. Nobody is beyond the hidayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the hidayah that he needs is how to be a Nabi. And Allahu Alam, how much of that took place between Allah ta'ala and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which has not been made part of the scripture revelation, Kitab, Quran al-Kareem, but in a few ayat Allah ta'ala does mention that. Alright. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues, كَذَلِكَ فَتَّنَّا بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ, thus did we try some of them by means of others, لِيَقُولُوا, such that they might say, أَهَؤُلَاءِ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ, are these the ones whom Allah Ta'ala has favored? مِن بَيْنِنَا, from amongst us? أَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِأَعْلَمَ بِالشَّاكِرِينَ, indeed is not Allah Ta'ala the most knowing? Doesn't Allah Ta'ala know best those who are thankful? So this statement was of the elites, right? The elites were saying that, okay, if the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has brought a new religion, well then it should be us who are the followers of that religion. In other words, this is the elite mentality. If anything good happens in the world, we should have it. If a new car is released, we should be the ones who buy it. And if people are praising charity, we should be the ones who lead in charity. Some of them have this fitna. If work of deen is being done, no, we should be the ones who do work of deen. Allahu Akbar Kabira. So this is an elite mentality. And so they were scoffing at the mukhlisin, sadiqeen, the sincere and true Sahaba Kiram radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajmain. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like this attitude of theirs. And this is a human nature, that whenever there's difference and discrepancy in wealth and power, that serves as a division, where Islam came to end all these socio-economic divisions, teaching humanity to pray together in one line, to go on Hajj together, and to fast together. So Deen has come to eliminate these socio-economic perceptions. The reality will be there. There will always be income inequality, but the income inequality is not in any way a means of any superiority or inferiority in terms of when it comes to Iman. Verses 54 to 55, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching that we should repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذَا جَاءَكَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِآيَاتِنَا, and when come to you, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who believe in the verses of our revelation, those who believe in our signs, فَقُلْ, then proclaim to them, سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ, that may salam be upon you. May salam be upon you. And so actually this was something that I had mentioned, I think, earlier. So both of these are permissible. Salamun alaikum is permissible, and assalamu alaikum is also permissible. So because salamun alaikum is permissible, in shorthand, just the word salam is also permissible to write in short form communication, such as SMS, short messaging service, and texting, etc. Kataba rabbukum ala nafsihi rahma, that and tell them, so do two things. Tell them, number one, salam, and number two, proclaim to them that your Rabb has inscribed upon himself mercy. Your Rabb has made being merciful incumbent upon himself. We commented on this earlier. Annahu man amila minkum su'an bijahalatin. Now then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning what is one of the manifestations of that mercy. What is one aspect of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And that is that if any of you does any evil deed, anything wrong, bijahalatin, in ignorance, thumma taba min ba'dihi, but then they repent to Allah ta'ala after that. Then they repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that, and wa aslaha, and they make amends, so they correct their behavior, correct their action, or they mend something that they hurt someone, so they mend that. فَأَنَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is truly all forgiving and all merciful. وَكَذَلِكَ نُفَسِّلُ الْآيَاتِ وَلِتَسْتَبِينَ سَبِيلُ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. Allah says, thus to be explained and expound upon. I say nufassir, thus to be expound upon the signs, so that the way of the sabil al-mujrimeen, the way of the sinners, should become evident. What does it mean? So the sabil al-mujrimeen, the way of the sinners, can become evident. Allah Ta'ala is doing bayan of them. What does it mean? The way of the sinners to get the forgiveness and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that they should make tawbah and they should make amends. Allahu Akbar. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us to the path, and this is you and me, right? We are unfortunately not muttaqeen. May Allah ta'ala make us of the muttaqeen. May Allah ta'ala make us of the barakah of Ramadan. La'alakum tattaqoon muttaqeen. But the reality is we are mujrimeen. And Allah, what a beautiful verse. And so these two verses are something that we should recite when we sin. Recite this verse and reflect upon it and ponder upon it. Or when you're thinking of sinning, even before doing the sin, recite these two verses. These should be some of our, so to speak, sometimes I call it our go-to verses. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides us how to access His mercy. So one is that Allah ta'ala saying that He has prescribed upon Himself mercy, and second, out of His love and mercy and guidance, He has guided us how to access that mercy. 56 to 58, Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explains what it means to be a messenger. So this was before, remember in verse 50. Then there were some other verses, and Allah Ta'ala returns to this. This happens a lot in Quran al-Kareem, that there are interludes, right? There's changes from one topic to the other. So 56 to 58 again. Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inni nuhitu an a'budu alladhina tad'una min dunillah. I have been forbidden to worship those whom you call upon and you pray to besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second, Qul la attabi'u ahwa'akum kad dhalaltu idhan wa ma ana min al-muhtadin. I will never proclaim to them, and I will not follow your whims and desires. I will not do what you want me to do. I will not give in to what you demand of me. Kad dalaltu idhan, I would have gone astray if I did. وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُهْتَدِينَ, and I would then not be from amongst those who are rightly guided. Allahu Akbar Kabira. This is a humanity of the Prophet, that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is openly saying, yes, if I listen to you, I'll also go astray, and I won't be rightly guided. Qul, proclaim to them. So next ayah. Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Inni ala bayyinatin min Rabbi. Indeed, I am upon a bayyina. I stand upon a clear proof and evidence min Rabbi, that has come from my Rabb. And what is that bayyina? That is Quran al-Kareem. وَكَذَّبْتُمْ بِهِ. And you all, you have denied it, you have repudiated, you have falsified it. Ma indi, that Ma indi, you have falsified that which is with me. Right? So you have falsified the Quran al-Kareem. You have done takdeeb of it. You have viewed it to be a lie. Ma tastajiluna bihi. That which you seek to hasten. That which you seek to hasten. Inal hukmu illa lillahi. That the right, that is not in the power of the Prophet ﷺ. That judgment belongs only to Allah. يَقُصُّ الْحَقَّ وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الْفَاصِلِينَ. And Allah Ta'ala will tell the truth, and He is the best of those who will relate. He is the best of those who will decide. He is the best of judges. Fasilin means to decisively decide between two parties, to do fasl between them as to who is correct and who is wrong. So this is when Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, remember these are Meccan revelations, so he has now put forth these proofs, ayat al-Qur'aniyah, of Tawheed, of the oneness of Allah Ta'ala, mentioning what prophethood is and what prophethood is not. And this, by the way, this statement of being on a bayna is something that Allah Ta'ala has mentioned in Quran, and we'll see it when it comes. The other Anbiya also used this term, that Allah Ta'ala sent them upon a bayna, a clear and decisive proof and evidence. قُلْ لَوْ أَنَّ إِنْدِي مَا تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ بِهِ لَقُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that if what you wish to hasten, if it was indeed, if it were up to me, if the power and ability to hasten the judgment were up to me, لَقُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ, then the matter would already have been settled and decided between us. Means I would hasten and happen right now. I would settle the matter right now. Wallahu a'lamu bil-zalimin. And Allah Ta'ala knows best who are the wrongdoers and who are the unjust. Okay, 59 to 60, some verses regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verses regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First, وَإِنَّهُ مَفَاتِحُ الْغَيْبِ. Mafatihul Ghaib. Some ulama, they used to write their titles of their books like this, Mafatihul Ghaib, Mafatihul Ghaib. They would make even a further plural of this. Those of you who are fancy Arabic grammar, Jamul Jamu, right? Mafatih. You take Mafatih, which is already plural, and you make the plural of the plural, Mafatih. Khair. Wa indahu, to Allah Ta'ala belongs the keys of the unseen. La ya'lamuha illa hu. No one knows them except for Him. So let's make this clear. Allah Ta'ala is proclaiming this in Quran al-Kareem. So this is again an example of a type of knowledge that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam does not have. A type of knowledge that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam does not have. So you can just imagine, what is ghaib? Ghaib is just any and all realities beyond our knowledge, beyond our apprehension, beyond our comprehension, right? And there's obviously so much knowledge that human beings don't have, even about this planet Earth, even about the way the human being functions, let alone so much knowledge we don't have about the universe, let alone so much knowledge we don't have about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His own lutf, His al-latif, His own subtle, the mysteries of His own subtle being and essence, and His majesty and might and power is, and His own knowledge is way beyond us. So all of these things are ghaib. All of these things are ghaib. When Allah uses the word mafatih, even the ability to unlock that ghaib, to bestow any of that knowledge, the key to any such thing, that also lies only and only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not that we can do some type of zikr and unlock the ghaib for ourselves, or Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam now by virtue of being a Nabi can unlock the ghaib for himself. No, that the mafatih, the keys to that also lie only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So the keys to that unseen, such an unseen that no one knows that unseen except for Allah ta'ala, the keys of that unseen, they're in the who only and only with Allah. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ, and Allah Ta'ala knows each and every single thing that is on the land and on the sea. Alright? So this is just an expression that encompasses all of planet Earth. وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ, and nothing, even not a single leaf even drops. Right? Not a single leaf even falls. Illa, except يَعْلَمُهَا, Allah Ta'ala knows it. It's funny, that later some philosophers used to ask this question, that if a leaf falls in the forest and nobody heard it, nobody was there, did it really fall? Allahu Akbar kabira. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ إِلَّا يَعْلَمُهَا, not a single leaf can even fall except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it. وَلَا حَبَّةٍ فِي ظُلُمَاتِ الْأَرْضِ, and there's not a single seed, a single grain, right, in the dark recesses of the earth, in the dark recesses, night falls of the earth. وَلَا رَطْبٍ, nor is there anything moist. وَلَا يَابِسٍ, nor anything dry. So ratbin means moist, verdant, green, lush. وَلَا يَابِسٍ, dry. إِلَّا فِي كِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ, except that it is in a clear book. Except that it is in a clear book. Alright, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows all the aspects of seen. So here was the ghaib. Now, what is on the Bari and Bahri, Allah Ta'ala knows everything that is seen also, not just the unseen. All of this is to refer different aspects of the seen, even the smallest of what is seen, the habba, right? Even the smallest act of the seen, that is such as the falling on the leaf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything and knows all. What is this Kitabun Mubin? Kitabun Mubin here is not referring to Quran al-Kareem. Rather, some say that it is referring to the permanence of the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So His knowledge is so permanent as if it's in a book. It's not in a book, it's in Him, right? But the knowledge is so permanent and so true and so flawless and not open to any mistake or error that is described as if being in a Kitabun Mubin. Some ulama also said this referred to Allahul Mahfuz, but we'll come to Allahul Mahfuz inshallah when the verse comes that mentions that. وَهُوَ الَّذِي, second thing about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ بِاللَّيْلِ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that being who takes your souls by night. Who takes your souls by night. So what does it mean? Not everybody's going to die at night. Here obviously it means sleep. And you know that we make this, when you sleep, there's a metaphorical sense that Allah Ta'ala takes the souls, and when you wake up it's as if you're resurrected. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses this as examples later and analogies in Quran al-Kareem, so that you can believe in life after death, you can believe in resurrection, because every morning you wake up after having slept. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا جَرَحْتُمْ بِالنَّهَارِ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything that you commit by day. ثُمَّ يَبْأَثُكُمْ فِيهِ, and Allah Ta'ala resurrects you therein, which I already explained, He makes you wake up. لِيُقْضَى أَجَلٌ مُسَمَّى, so that you may complete a term. You may complete and fulfill a term that has been appointed. It means you will live out your life, and your lifespan and your death date has been appointed. ثُمَّ إِلَيْهِ مَرْجِعُكُمْ, and after that term expires, in other words you die, then to He, Allah, marji'ukum, is your return. ثُمَّ يُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, then Allah Ta'ala will inform you about the reality of all that which you used to do. 61 to 62, continuing about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ الْقَاهِرُ, and Allah Ta'ala is the dominant, فَوْقَ إِبَادِهِ, dominant and overpowering over all of His creatures and slaves. وَيُرْسِلُ عَلَيْكُمْ حَفَظَةً, and Allah Ta'ala sends protectors, guardians, hafadatan. Right? Again, if you're fond of yourself, this is the Jama Mukassar. Alright? Hafadatan, Allah Ta'ala sends guardians, plural of hafiz, on you. Hatta idha ja'a ahadukum al-mautu, such that when death comes to any single one of you, tawaffathu rusuluna, that it's our messengers, our emissaries. Here I will translate it as emissaries because it's not the Prophet messengers. Then our emissaries tuwaffat our rusulana, our emissaries will take that person's soul. So tuwaffat they will take that person's soul. وَهُمْ لَا يُفَرِّطُونَ, and those emissaries will not fail in doing so. Alright, they will not neglect, they will never do ifrat, tafrit, they will never come before or after. There will not be the slightest of variance, deviation, negligence in their duty. They will take the soul at the exact moment, at the exact time. Alright. So obviously Allah Ta'ala being Qahir, He is dominant on us and He overpowers us. The Hafadha refers to angels. So there are angels who accompany us, who are Kiram and Katibin, it's going to come later, who write down all the deeds that we do. I think this is something that all of us know. And here also there are angels who are sent as emissaries from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to collect our souls. So we have two angels who are with us our whole life, and then there's another type of angel that comes to collect our soul at the moment when we die. ثُمَّ رُدُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ, and then what happens is that everyone returns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then they return to Allah, Mawlahum, who is their protector and their master, Al-Haqqi, who is the being of absolute truth. So Al-Haqq is also one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also what you can take here is Mawlahu Al-Haqqi, who is their true master, who is their master, Mawla and Haqq, who verily, truly is their master. Finally, Allah lahul hukmu, does not the hukm, the decisive judgment, belong lahu, to Allah Ta'ala alone? وَهُوَ أَسْرَعُ الْحَاسِبِينَ, and He is the most swift of those who reckon. Okay, so all of this is referring to simply our life. Our whole life is understood in these two verses, and that our whole life is under the dominance of Allahul Qahir. 63 to 65 more verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing Himself. Qul, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Man yunajjikum min dhulumatil barri wal bahri, who is it that rescues you, saves you, delivers you from the darknesses on land and sea? Tad'unahu tadarru'an wa khufyatan, when you call upon Him, tadarru'an, with humility, khufyatan, you can say secretly, but you can also say secretly. لَإِنْ أَنْجَانَا مِنْ هَذِهِ, and you make dua, quote, saying لَإِنْ أَنْجَانَا, that if we are saved, if we are rescued, if we are delivered, مِنْ هَذِهِ, from this, right, whatever that calamity is that's in that darkness, لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الشَّاكِرِينَ, that surely, certainly, definitely we will be amongst those who are thankful and grateful. قُلِ اللَّهُ يُنَجِّيكُم مِنْهَا, proclaim to them, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that find Allah Ta'ala then saves you and delivers you minha, from it. وَمِن كُلِّ كَرْبٍ, and in fact Allah Ta'ala saves you from every distress, ثُمَّ أَنْتُمْ تُشْرِكُونَ, but then after that, instead of shukr, so look at the letters, instead of shukr, you do shirk. Instead, then you go back to ascribing partners and associating others with Him. So this is human nature. When we're in difficulty, we turn to Allah Ta'ala, we promise, but then as soon as Allah removes that difficulty, we go back to worshipping or following or believing other concepts or idols, or in our case, we go back and turn to our nafs, or we go back to following the dunya. Qul, proclaim to them, Huwal qadiru ala an yab'atha alaykum adhaban min fawqikum aw min tahti arjulikum, that Allah Ta'ala has absolute power and ability to do what? To send a punishment upon you, from above you, or from beneath your feet. To at any moment, at all times, we fall under the power of Allah Ta'ala's power and ability that Allah Ta'ala could punish us. Second, yalbisakum shi'am. Yalbisakum, so libas, mulabasa, multabis, iltibas, it means Allah Ta'ala will confound you, will confuse you. With what? Shi'an, by making you into factions. وَيُذِيكَ بَعْضَكُمْ بَعْسَ بَعْضٍ, and that, such that some of you would taste the, you can say the ba'as. Ba'as means the might, but it's like a hostile might, a vicious might of others. As Allah is saying that He could easily make you factions where you fight one another. And to some extent this has happened. And it's ironic that one group even likes to call themselves Shia, when Shi'an is actually a word used negatively in Quran to denote factionalism that Allah does not want to happen. And then those factions will be set at one another in a hostile manner. Undur kayfa nusarrifu al-ayati la'allahum yafqahun. Allah Ta'ala says, behold and know and see how we vary the signs so that they may understand. So falling into Shi'an and discordant factions is an error that earlier religious communities fell into, and they also set upon one another, right? Intra-religious intra-religious warfare. And this is something that we have to be wary of, lest the mu'mineen fall in such a thing as well. So on the one hand, yes, Allah Ta'ala is prohibiting this, but Allah Ta'ala is also mentioning that this could have been a divine punishment. It's not saying that Allah Ta'ala Himself has set this. So again, I want to explain here that these two words, firqa, which we did earlier, and shi'an. So sects and factions. Firq is sects, and shi'an is factions. Sects and factions are wrong in Islam. However, diversity of opinion, ikhtilaf al-ra'i, plurality of ijtihad, multiple commentaries on tafsir, multiple explanations of hadith, this is fine. That's the thriving and robustness and vitality of scholarship, that you have multiple positions and knowledge, but you don't want to have sects based on creed, and you don't want to have any type of faction based on any other factor. Okay, verses 66 to 67. So again, one of the things we've left untitled, and something you can think about. But afterwards, also, وَكَذَّبَ بِهِ قَوْمُكَ. Yet your community, your people have denied it, وَهُوَ الْحَقِّ, even though it is true. So unfortunately, قَوْمُكَ means the Ahl Makkah, the Ahl Quraysh. The community of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had chose to deny it, even though it's true. قُلْ لَسْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ بِوَكِيلٍ. So proclaim to them, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that I am not a wakil upon you. I'm not a guardian over you. Means I'm your prophet. I won't be able to save you. I'm not responsible for you on the Day of Judgment. I won't be able to be your guardian on the Day of Judgment. لِكُلِّ نَبَإٍ مُسْتَقَرٌ وَسَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. And for every tiding, for every naba, remember a prophet is also nabi, who brings the most important tiding, the most important information. So for every tiding there is a term. So there's a term that you have with which to accept my nabuwa, mustaqarrun, that has been established firmly as istiqrar, wa sawfa ta'lamun, and soon you shall know. Right, so referring to obviously that if they don't believe in this world, then on the Day of Judgment there will come a time. It can also mean a foreboding, a foreshadowing in this life, as this is Meccan revelation. So Allah Ta'ala is addressing the Ahl Quraysh, Ahl Makkah, that you should believe it, you're disbelieving it even though it is haqq. So tell them that okay, my nabuwa is mustaqar, and وَسَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ, and soon you shall know. This could also be a foreshadowing of Fatih Makkah and the ghalaba and triumph of Al-Islam. Okay, verse 68 to 67. Verses 68 to 70. We're doing all of 68, but only the first part of 70. So this is important. وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ, it's being addressed originally to Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it has an important teaching for us. وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ الَّذِينَ يَخُوضُونَ فِي آيَاتِنَا, when you see those people who are engaging يَخُوضُونَ in vain and idle talk and speculation regarding the verses of our revelation, regarding our signs, فَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ, then you should turn away from them, avoid them. حتى يخوضوا وإذا رأيت الذين يخوضون في آياتنا فأعرض عنهم حتى يخوضوا في حديث غيره. You should turn away from them until they engage in some other discussion. They take up another topic. وإما ينسينك الشيطان, and if shaitan makes you forget, so you're sitting there and you forget this teaching and you don't move away from them, فَلَا تَقْعُدْ بَعْدَ الذِّكْرَى, then don't sit with them in their company don't sit in their company after this remembrance. Don't sit in whose company after this remembrance? مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Don't sit with the people who are unjust, who are wrongdoers. So this is an important thing, again, for us in this day and age, especially those who are university students. You will find either with the non-practicing cultural liberals, secular Muslims, or even you'll find it more in them, less in non-Muslims, except of a very kind of, Orientalist, revisionist kind, that they may be engaging in vain discussion regarding the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So you should turn away from them until they turn to some other topic. And if one forgets, then one should remember next time, just don't sit with them. If you may find this about yourself, that what happens is, Shaitan makes me forget this command that I should turn away from them. So if you find that about you, or you find that you are lax in this, you are negligent in this, or you say, I'm too shy, I can't get up and go away, whatever it is, then don't sit with them in the first place anymore. فَلَا تَقْعُدْ بَعْدَ ذِكْرَى مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Don't sit with them in the first place anymore then. وَمَا عَلَى الَّذِينَ يَتَّقُونَ مِنْ حِسَابِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. And it is not upon those who are muttaqeen, their hisab, their reckoning, their accounting, their matter, their affair, accounting and reckoning and responsibility for their affair. No, the muttaqeen have no responsibility for anything on their account except وَلَكِنْ ذِكْرَى. Except dhikra, that they should advise, they should remind, they should admonish. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. So in the hope that maybe they might become muttaqi. وَذَرِ الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا دِينَهُمْ لَعِبًا وَلَهْوًا. And leave those people who have taken their deen to be play and diversion. So again, the same thing for people today, non-practicing Muslims, distant from Muslims. Leave them. Leave those who have taken their deen to be play and diversion. What does this mean? Not if they're your family, not if they're your friends, then not if you can do dhikra in the hope that they can become muttaqeen, but if they're people other than, you don't have any other contact with them, they have no rights over you, right? Then you should leave them. Leave associating with them while they make deen a matter of play and diversion, but yes, you can engage them in dawah and you can engage them in dhikra. وَغَرَّتُمُ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. And the life of this world will distract you. The life of this world, the life of this world has deluded them. وَغَرَّتْهُمَ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. The life of this world has deluded them and distracted them, and that is why they make their deen into a play and diversion. We make Allah Ta'ala guide every such person. May Allah protect us from being in this category. Verses 71 to 72, Allah mentions, قُلْ إِنَّ هُدَى اللَّهِ هُوَ الْهُدَى. Indeed, proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the guidance, hidayah that comes from Allah Ta'ala, هُوَ الْهُدَى, that is true hidayah. وَأُمِرْنَا لِنُسْلِمَ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. And we have been commanded that we must submit and surrender entirely to Rabbil Alameen. وَأَنْ أَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ. And then also tell them that they should regularly establish their prayer. وَاتَّقُوهُ. And that they should fear Allah, who is Rabbil Alameen. وَهُوَ الَّذِي إِلَيْهِ تُحْشَرُونَ. For He, indeed He is that being to whom all of you will be gathered together. Alright? So this is a good explanation of hidayah and how we should follow it. هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض. Allah tells that being who has created the firmaments and the earth بالحق in absolute truth. ويوم يقول كن فيكون. And on that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will simply say, be and it becomes. Be and it becomes. فيكون قوله الحق. And His qawl, the word of Allah Ta'ala, the statement of Allah Ta'ala is haq, is absolutely true. وَلَهُ الْمُلْكُ يَوْمَ يُنْفَعُ فِي السُّورِ عَالِمُ الْغَيْبِ وَلَهُ الْمُلْكُ يَوْمَ يُنْفَخُ فِي السُّورِ. That to Allah Ta'ala alone lies the mastery and kingship and dominion and sovereignty of that day in which the trumpet will be blown. Means the cataclysmic end of the world and the day of judgment. Alim al-ghaybi wa shahada. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the knower of all that is unseen and all that may be witnessed. Wa huwal hakimul khabir. And Allah ta'ala is all wise and all aware. All wise and all aware. So on that day, what does that mean? On that day, wa yawma yakulu kun fayakun. On that day when Allah ta'ala will say, be and it is. Be and it is. Then we go back, actually, خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ بِالْحَقِّ. Allah Ta'ala created the firmaments and the earth with haqq. With truth means for some reason, for some purpose, with some value, as the arena in which to send His revelation and His Prophet ﷺ, on the arena in which to place His creation, Bani Adam, who would willingly, voluntarily believe Him and love Him and obey Him and submit to Him and thereby earn Jannah. On that day, Allah Ta'ala will simply end all this world just by saying be. Yes, He will have it announced once by having the trumpet blown into by the angel Israfil, but then the same way that Allah Ta'ala created the world through a command of creation kun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will wrap up this world with the command of creation kun. Then Allah Ta'ala will begin the whole process of the Day of Judgment and the resurrection of all of humanity on that day simply with His command of kun. At the end, Allah Ta'ala mentions that He is Al-Hakim Al-Khabir. That Allah Ta'ala is all wise and all aware. Right? So all of this, the whole creation of Allah Ta'ala is an act of wisdom. And He remains entirely aware of everything after He created it. So He created it after His wisdom, and He remains ever aware of His creation. Verses 74 to 79 is the story of the blessed Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. Many of us will be familiar with it already, but since it's so important, we wanted to do it and not skip it in any way. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ آزَرَ. And when Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam said to his father Azar, أَتَتَّخِذُ أَصْنَامًا آلِهَةً. Have you taken these idols for gods? Inni araka wa qawmaka fi dhalalin mubin. Indeed, I, Ibrahim alayhi salam, I see you, O my father, and qawmaka. So Ibrahim alayhi salam is already disavowing them by referring to them as your qawm. He's telling his father, I see you and your people that you are in fi dhalalin mubin, and manifest in clear error. Wa kadhalika nuri Ibrahima malakut as-samawati wal ard. And so Allah Ta'ala says that thus did we show, thus did we nuri, we show Ibrahim alayhi salam, malakut as-samawati wal ard. We showed him the dominions of the heavens and the earth, liyakuna min al-muqinin, so that he might be amongst those who would be absolutely certain. Alright? So what does that mean? Allah Ta'ala will explain afterwards. Allah Ta'ala is going to enable Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam to gaze upon the sky and reflect upon it. فَلَمَّا جَنَّ عَلَيْهِ اللَّيْلُ. So then when night fell over him, grew dark upon him, رَأَى كَوْكَبًا. So Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, he saw a star. قَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي. And he said, oh, this is my Rabb. فَلَمَّا أَفَلَ. But when that star set and faded and disappeared, قَالَ لَا أُحِبُّ الْآفِلِينَ. Ibrahim alayhi salam said that I love not anything that sets. Okay? So this is a classic, very important aspect of being Hanif. This is the essence of Tawheed. And we should pluck this saying out, لَا أُحِبُّ الْآفِلِينَ. It's not just about the star. I won't love any false love in this world that will fade. I won't love fame that will fade. I won't love display that will fade. I won't love material possessions that will fade. La uhibbul afilin. This is a sentence that we have to put in our heart. This sentence must be the expression of the feelings in our heart. We must make our heart in such a way that we don't love the things that are fading in this world. Continuing the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, فَلَمَّا رَأَى الْقَمَرَ بَازِغًا. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam, he saw the moon. And what did he see the moon? He saw it rising. So he said, Qala, he said, Hada Rabbi, that this is my Rabb. But فَلَمَّا أَفَلَ, again when the moon faded, when the moon set, when the moon disappeared, Qala, Ibrahim alayhi salam now realized, لَإِن لَمْ يَهْدِنِي رَبِّي لَأَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. That if my Rabb does not guide me, surely, certainly I will be from amongst those people who are astray. So this is an attitude. We should also have this attitude that if Allah Ta'ala does not guide me, if He hadn't guided me, if He doesn't guide me in the future, if He doesn't keep on guiding me, I will automatically, the second Allah Ta'ala's hidayah leaves me, I will immediately fall in the qawm ad-dalin. I'm not rightly guided because of my knowledge or of my worship or my character. No one should think that. No, I'm only rightly guided because Allah Ta'ala has given me hidayah. Hence I always make dua to Allah Ta'ala, ihdina siratak mustaqim. This is how we should feel about ourselves. فَلَمَّا رَأَى الشَّمْسَ بَازِغَةً. So then now finally when he saw the sun rising, he said, هَذَا رَبِّي. Oh, this is my Rabb. هَذَا أَكْبَرُ. And this is even greater, larger than the star and the moon. فَلَمَّا أَفَلَتْ. But then when the sun set and faded, set and disappeared, so the same thing. Then he said, قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِّمَّا تُشْرِكُونَ. That, oh my Rabb, I am absolved. I'm innocent of all the partners that you have ascribed to Allah Ta'ala. إِنِّي وَجَّهْتُ وَجْهِيَ لِلَّذِينَ فَتَرَ السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Indeed, I turn my face. This is what it means to be Hanif. I turn my face towards that one being, the being who was the originator, Fatir as-samawati, who had originated the firmaments and the earth. Hanifa. I turn to him as a Hanif. So Hanif, you can say, in true devotion, in true monotheistic devotion. وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And I'm not of the idolaters. I'm not of the idolaters. Some of the ulama mention that Ibrahim alayhi salam literally went through this exercise. Other ulama say that no, look, he had obviously would have already seen the star and the moon and the sun. This was a discourse that he used, a rational argument he was trying to make for the sake of others about why a person should accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the unseen creator. And another meaning was that he used the star and the moon and the sun because those are things that clearly aren't man-made. They're creation, but they're not man-made. So if creation cannot be God, so if we cannot worship the sun and the moon, even though they're not man-made, how in the world can we worship man-made idols and statues made of stone? So similarly then, I would say that if we cannot worship that creation which is not even man-made, such as the sun and moon, why would we worship man-made creation such as corporations and material world and fame and popularity and other such things? Okay, now verse 82, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes something which I'm simply calling unadulterated belief that is not corrupted with anything else. Belief that is not corrupted with anything else. Alladhina amanu. So those who have iman, walam yalbisu imanahum bidhulm, and they do not adorn their iman, literally means they do not dress their iman with anything that is zulm, anything that is unfair, anything that is unjust. Such people, ulaika lahumul aman. Such people will have security. وَهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. And they are the ones who are rightly guided, who have truly followed guidance. So this is still part of the passage about Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. But generally, what does this mean for us? Generally what this means is that if we have iman, we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but still we do zulm on others, we are wrongdoers or we are unjust, and some have taken zulm can also mean wrongdoers on oneself, simply to do sin, then we are obscuring our iman. We are obscuring our iman. But if we don't do that, then we will have the aman that comes with iman, and that means that we are truly following hidayah. Verses 83 and then 86 to 88, and I'm skipping 84 and 85, is some discussion generally about all of the prophets, the blessed prophets, alayhim as-salam, ajma'in. وَتِلْكَ هُجَّتُنَا آتَيْنَاهَا. And this is our hujjah. Allah Ta'ala saying, this is our hujjah, the absolute decisive proof, the absolute decisive argument on behalf of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His existence and His oneness and His power. Ataynaha, Allah Ta'ala says that we bestowed that hujjah, we granted that hujjah, we gave that hujjah to Ibrahim alayhi salam ala qawmihi, against his people, to be used against his people. versus his people. نَرْفَعُ دَرَجَاتٍ مَّن نَّشَاءُ. And it says that we raise by degrees whomsoever we will. Some are raised to the degree of Nabuwah. Some are raised by Allah Ta'ala to the degree of Siddiqeen, the true followers of the Anbiya. Some are raised by Allah Ta'ala to become Salihin, Muttaqeen, virtuous, pious believers. But again, this is the verse that makes it clear that there are darajat, there are levels and ranks of believers and of humans, but those levels and ranks are bestowed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna rabbaka hakeemun alim. Indeed, your Rabb is Hakeem, is most judicious, most wise. Alimun is all-knowing. Okay, then in verses 84 to 85, Allah ta'ala mentions a whole series of prophets: Nuh alayhi salam, Dawood, Sulaiman, Ayub, Yusuf, Musa, Harun, Zakaria, Yahya, Isa, Ilyas, etc., Ismail, Yunus, Lut, etc. Alright, and then at the end of verse 86, وَكُلًّا فَضَّلْنَا عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. And each and every one of them, those mentioned, and also by extension, all of the Anbiya and Mursaleen, all of the prophets and messengers, فَضَّلْنَا عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. They have been preferred and favored by Allah Ta'ala above and beyond all of the realms, all of the universe. So in other words, simply understand that the greatest thing, the greatest of Allah Ta'ala's creation from all the realms and universes are the Anbiya and Mursaleen, the prophets and messengers. And the greatest of the prophets and messengers is Sayyidina Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, then Allah Ta'ala mentions وَمِنْ آبَائِهِمْ. So we favored them and from their forefathers, وَذُرِّيَّاتِهِمْ, and from their descendants and progeny, وَإِخْوَانِهِمْ, and from their brothers, وَاجْتَبَيْنَاهُمْ وَهَدَيْنَاهُمْ. We selected them and we guided them إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ, to the straight path. So this is the verses where Allah Ta'ala is mentioning the special favors and blessings He has put on all of the Anbiya, and He made them such that some of their forefathers are Anbiya, if nothing else Adam alayhi salam, some of their progeny are Anbiya, like Ismail alayhi salam, Ishaq alayhi salam, or their brothers are Anbiya, like Harun alayhi salam. So Allah Ta'ala, this is one of the ways that Allah Ta'ala has favored the Anbiya. ذَلِكَ هُدَى اللَّهِ. And this is the hidayah of Allah Ta'ala, the hidayah that He gives to the prophets and messengers, and the hidayah that He gives humanity through the prophets and messengers. يَهْدِي بِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah Ta'ala guides by means of that whomsoever He wishes, مِنْ عِبَادِهِ, from His creatures and slaves. وَلَوْ أَشْرَكُوا. And if still after all that hidayah, after all those prophets and messengers, after all this hidayah from Allah Ta'ala, still were they to do shirk, were they to associate and ascribe partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then لَحَبِتَ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Then all that they will do will come to naught, will be null and void, will be fruitless for them entirely. So it means that the good deeds that are done by the people of shirk, they may have rewards for that in this world. Allah Ta'ala may give them rizq, He may give them health, but they will have no reward for that in terms of a share in the akhirah. Verses 89 to 90, Allah Ta'ala mentions more about this long tradition of the prophets alayhim as-salam ajma'in. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحُكْمَ. Not hikmah, hukmah. These are those people who, they are those to whom Allah Ta'ala says that we have given the scripture revelation, the book, wal-hukmah, and the decisive judgment, wal-nubuwata, and prophethood. فَإِن يَكْفُرْ بِهَا. And if they deny it, if they do not believe, haulai, if they do not believe in them, فَقَدْ وَكَّلْنَا بِهَا قَوْمًا لَيْسُوا بِهَا بِكَافِرِينَ. Then we have entrusted them to a people who will not disbelieve in them. We have entrusted them to a people who will not disbelieve in them. So what does that mean? Right? If there are Jews and Christians who don't believe in these prophets, then this Ummah Muslimah will believe in all those prophets. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ هَدَى اللَّهُ. And these are those people who Allah Ta'ala has guided. فَبِهُدَاهُ مُقْتَدِهِ. And by means of their hidayah, they should be followed. They are the ones to whom Allah Ta'ala has guided. So simply speaking, iqtadih means you should emulate and follow their hidayah, should follow their guidance. So Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is also being told here to follow in the path of the guidance of all of the Prophets ajmain, and then finally kul, and to proclaim to the people, to his addressees, la as'alukum alayhi ajra. I do not ask you for any reward, any compensation for conveying the message of prophethood. In huwa illa dhikra lil alameen, and indeed this is not but a reminder for all the worlds. So the Quran Kareem is a dhikra lil alameen, is a reminder for all of the worlds. One of the many ways Quran Kareem is described in Quran. Verse 91, وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ, that they did not esteem Allah Ta'ala, they did not value Allah Ta'ala, they did not truly assess, so miqdar, qadru, they did not assess and measure the might and capacity of Allah Ta'ala, haqqa qadrihi, as He is right, as He should truly have been assessed. إِذْ قَالُوا, when did they fail to assess Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly? When they said, مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَى بَشَرٍ مِّن شَيْءٍ, Allah Ta'ala has never sent down anything to any human being. So they're trying to deny, the idolaters are denying all prophet, denying prophecy itself, revelation itself, scripture itself, denying kitab itself, hukum itself, hikmah itself, nubuwah itself, all of the anbiya and rasul, denying all of that. So this is like the atheists of today, right? This is the atheist of today. So this is an important ayah to understand. And the atheist, their key flaw is this: وَمَا قَدَرُ اللَّهَ حَقَّ قَدْرِهِ. They do not esteem Allah Ta'ala as deserves to be esteemed. They do not value and deem Allah Ta'ala as His true rank. They do not assess and measure the capacity and might and magnificence of Allah Ta'ala as is the true way to have assessed that. And therefore they deny. And when are they doing this? Failure to do qadr, when they say such things. Qul, so proclaim to them, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Man anzal al-kitab alladhi ja'a bihi Musa nuran wa hudan lin-nas. Who is it that sent down the scripture that Musa alayhi salam came with, and that scripture was a nur, was a light and a guidance for all people? Taj'alunahu qaratisa tubdunaha wa tukhfuna kathira. And that you simply took that nur and hidayah and made it into paper, made it into parchments, which you show, which you just display, but at the same time you hide much of it. وَأُلِّمْتُمْ مَا لَمْ تَعْلَمُوا, and you were taught knowledge, that which you never knew. You never knew. Antum wala aba'ukum, nor did your forefathers ever know. Kulillah, say this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kulillah, and this has also been used by some of the ulama arifin as a proof that one can make zikr of Ism Jalala, Ism Azam, Ism Mufrad, Allah. Kulillah, simply say and proclaim Allah. Thumma dharhum fi khawdihim yal'abun, and then leave them to play with their vain discourse. Remember, khawd, their vain, fruitless, idle discourse and talk. Let them play with it. Leave them. But proclaim what? Allah. So this is best by saying Ism Azam, Ism Jalala. We're proclaiming that is the way we do qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this ayah is an ishara to the immense benefit of doing zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. Verse 92, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the relationship between Quran Kareem and Makkah Mukarramah. Quran Kareem and Makkah Mukarramah. وَهَذَا كِتَابٌ أَنزَلْنَاهُ مُبَارَكٌ مُصَدِّقُ الَّذِي بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ. And this kitab, yani Quran Kareem, Allah saying that we have revealed this Quran, confirming Mubarakun as is a blessed book. مُصَدِّقُ الَّذِي بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ, it is confirming that which already came before it and already lies in front of you. وَلَتُنذِرَ أُمَّ الْقُرَى, and so that you may warn the mother of all cities. This is one of the names of Makkah Mukarramah, al-Qura. وَمَنْ حَوْلَهَا, and all those who are around her. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِهِ, and any and all those who truly believe in the Akhirah and hereafter, يُؤْمِنُونَ بِهِ, they will believe in Quran al-Kareem. They will believe in it. وَهُمْ عَلَى صَلَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ, and what's the sign that they believed in Akhirah? They were firm and steadfast and mindful and guardians and preserved their salah, their prayers. So this is referring to the Ahl Kitab in and around Makkah Mukarramah, and the true ones who would remain steadfast in prayer and who truly believe in Akhirah, then they will believe in Quran al-Kareem when that has been revealed now in front of them. Finally, then in verse 93, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ اِفْتَرَىٰ عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا. Who can be more of a wrongdoer, more of an unjust than that person who fabricates lies and attributes them to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or fabricates lies against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? أَوْ قَالَ أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ, or says as a false claimant that wahi has been revealed to me, says it has been revealed to me. So these are false claimants to prophethood. These are the worst of all of creation, the most unjust, the most wrongdoing. And one of many of them, his name is Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, and he claimed to be a prophet. And by doing so, him and any and everyone who follows and believes him to be a prophet is outside the religion of Islam, outside the fold of Islam. وَلَمْ يُوحَى إِلَيْهِ شَيْءٍ. And Allah is saying about all such false claimants, and nothing whatsoever was revealed unto him. وَمَنْ قَالَ, and the third person, so three people who are the worst. First, those who fabricate lies against Allah Ta'ala. Second, who are false claimants to prophet and claim some revelation was revealed to them. And third, وَمَنْ قَالَ سَأُنزِلُ مِثْلَ مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ. And then that person who falsely says that I will send down the like of which Allah Ta'ala has sent down. Right? So claims that I will come up with revelation, the likeness of what Allah Ta'ala have revealed. Literally means I will reveal the likes of which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed. So these are the adlamu, those who do the greatest wrong, the greatest injustice. The greatest wrong, the greatest injustice. 93 to 94, Allah Ta'ala mentions what is their fate. What is the fate of such people? وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذِ الظَّالِمُونَ فِي غَمَرَاتِ الْمَوْتِ. If only you would be able to see these unjust wrongdoers when they are in the throes of death. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ بَاسِطُ أَيْدِيهِمْ. And the angels are extending their arm, extending and stretching forth their hands to take their souls. أَخْرِجُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. And they tell them, yield up your souls, give up your souls. Al-yawma tudzawna adhab al-hun. Today you will be recompensed with the punishment of humiliation. Bima kuntum taquluna ala Allahi ghayr al-haq. Due to which all of that you used to say regarding Allah Ta'ala, which was all untruth. Which was all untrue. وَكُنْتُمْ عَنْ آيَاتِهِ تَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. And regarding the verses of Allah Ta'ala's revelation, you felt that you were too important. تَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. You viewed yourself to be too great for that. وَلَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا فُرَادًا. And Allah says that now Allah Ta'ala will address them, that now you have come to us furada, alone, كَمَا خَلَّقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ, in exactly the same manner as we created you the first time. وَتَرَكْتُمْ مَا خَوَلْنَاكُمْ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِكُمْ. And you have left behind that which we had bestowed upon you behind your backs, literally behind. وَمَا نَرَى مَعَكُمْ شُفَعَاءَكُمُ الَّذِينَ زَعَمْتُمْ أَنَّهُمْ فِيكُمْ شُرَكَاءُ. And nor do we see with you your intercessors, those who you deemed were shuraka, those who you felt were partners. In other words, the ones you ascribed as partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we don't see them. Those who you asserted to be your partners. لَقَدْ تَقَطَّعَ بَيْنَكُمْ. And now you have been severed from them. وَذَلَّ أَنْكُمْ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَزْعُمُونَ. And that which you once claimed has been forsaken. وَذَلَّ أَنْكُمْ. And has left you مَا كُنْتُمْ تَزْعُمُونَ. That which you once claimed. Alright, so you claimed that you had these idols who would protect you, and now you've been cut off from them. 95 to 98, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing about who He is. Who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Inna Allaha falikul habbi wan nawa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the being who is the, so falik means, you can say, the cleaver of the grain and the date stone. Yukhrijul hayya min al-mayyiti, and He brings out the life from the death. So this is the hab and nawa, the date pit and date stone, and the seed, the grain seed. So inside it, when it is split, more seeds are grown, right? So this is how plants grow. Okay? وَمُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتِ مِنَ الْحَيِّ, and Allah is that being who takes out the dead from the living. So He brings forth the living from the dead, and He is the one who brings forth the dead from the living. ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ. So for you, know then that is Allah. فَأَنَّا تُؤْفَكُونَ. فَأَنَّا تُؤْفَكُونَ. And how can you be deceived about such an Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? فَالِكَ الْإِصْبَاحِ. Allah Ta'ala is the cleaver of dawn. He's the one who causes dawn to break. وَجَعَلَ اللَّيْلَ سَكَنًا. And Allah Ta'ala has made the night for sukoon, for quiet, for rest. And this is why it's more barakah when we sleep and rest in the night. وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ حُسْبَانًا. And Allah Ta'ala has made the sun and the moon for calculating, right? For husab, for calculating the progression of day and night. ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. Thus is the decree and determination of the Almighty, the All-Knowing. وَهُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ النُّجُومَ لِتَهْتَدُوا بِهَا فِي ظُلُمَاتِ الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. And Allah Ta'ala, He is that being who has placed for you the skies, who has made for you the skies, so that you may be guided by them in the darknesses on land and the darknesses at sea. قَدْ فَصَّلْنَا الْآيَاتِ لَقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah says we have clearly expounded and made clear the signs for people, لَقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ, for people who know. وَهُوَ الَّذِي أَنْشَأَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. And He is that being who brought you forth and created you all from one soul, one single self, Nabi Adam alayhi salam. فَمُسْتَقَرٌّ وَمُسْتَوْدَعٌ قَدْ فَصَّلْ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then gave you a dwelling place, mustaqar, and a mustawda, a repository. قَدْ فَصَّلْنَا الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَفْقَهُونَ. Thus Allah Ta'ala says that we have made the signs clear to a people who understand, yafqahun, people who have fiqh, people who understand. Continuing this, 99. وَهُوَ الَّذِي أَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. And He is that being who has sent down from the sky water. فَأَخْرَجْنَا بِهِ نَبَاتَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. And He brings forth by means of that water vegetation, plantation, crops of every manner and kind. فَأَخْرَجْنَا مِنْهُ. Allah Ta'ala brings forth nabata, everything that grows and sprouts of every kind. فَأَخْرَجْنَا مِنْهُ خَضِرًا. And Allah Ta'ala brings forth from means of that water every vegetation, every greenery. نُخْرِجُ مِنْهُ حَبًّا مُتَرَاكِبًا. Then Allah Ta'ala brings forth from it grain, or seeds of grain. مُتَرَاكِبًا, which come in heaps. Murakiban means they come in some type of tarakib, some types of heaps or rows. If you want to manage grain fields, you can think of rows. If you want to imagine heaps, وَمِنَ النَّخْلِ. And Allah Ta'ala has brought forth from the date palm, what? مِنْ طَلْئِهَا, sheaves and clusters of fruits and dates, كِنْوَانٌ دَانِيَةٌ, that they are hanging low. And Allah Ta'ala also brought forth وَجَنَّاتٍ مِّنْ أَعْنَابٍ, and also gardens of grapes, groves of grapes, وَالزَّيْتُونَ, and olives, وَالرُّمَانَ, and pomegranates, مُشْتَبِهًا وَغَيْرَ مُتَشَابِهٍ, those that are like one another, similar, and those that are unlike one another, different types. انظروا إلى ثمره, so gaze upon, look upon their fruits. إِذَا أَثْمَرَ, as they grow, as they fruition, وَيَنْئِهِ, and as they ripen. So as they multiply, right? Athmara, when the fruits multiply and you see more and more fruit coming, وَيَنْئِهِ, and then you see all those multiple fruits ripen. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكُمْ, and indeed in this you have لَآيَاتٍ لَقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ, you have signs for those who are people who believe, right? Signs for the people who believe. All this description of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this was from 95 to 99. And then 100 to 102, Allah Ta'ala, so after explaining who Allah Ta'ala is, who Allahu Ladhi, 95 to 99, 100 to 102, Allah Ta'ala is going to explain who He is not. What are the false beliefs concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? وَجَعَلُوا, and they The idol worshippers, the mushrikeen, they make lillahi shuraka al-jinnah. They make the jinn partners to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa khalaqahum. However, He, Allah ta'ala, created them. They're creation, they're not partners. Wa kharaqu lahu banina wa banatin. And they falsely attribute, they invent and falsely attribute lahu to Allah ta'ala, na'uzubillah, banina wa banatin, sons and daughters, baghayra ilm, without any knowledge of that. Subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yasifun. Glory be to Allah ta'ala, and exalted is Allah ta'ala beyond what they describe. Badi'u samawati wal ard. And then Badi'u samawati wal ard, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the unique originator, the beginner. So Fatir is the originator, Badi'a from Bidayah, the first prime beginner of the samawat and ard, the firmaments and the earth. How can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anna yakunu lahu walad? How can that being, who is the beginning and origin of everything, how can that being have a son? Walam takun lahu sahiba. And that being has no sahiba, so you can say has no consort. Wa khalaqa kulla shay. And that being is the being who has created every single thing. And وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٍ. And He is that being who is all-knowing of every single thing. So how can that being who is Badi'u samawati wal ard, who is خَلَقَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ, who is وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٍ, how can such a person, أَنَّ يَكُونُ لَهُ وَلَدٍ, how could such a person, not a person, how could such a being, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have a son? Alright, ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ. That is Allah, your Rabb. La ilaha illahu. There is no deity, no God except for He. Khaliqu kulli shay, the creator of all things. Fa'buduhu. So therefore worship Him and Him alone. Wa huwa ala kulli shay'in wakil. And He is in charge of all things. He is guardian over each and every single thing. Verses 103 to 104, this notion of vision and sight. So it's further description of Allah Ta'ala. La tudrikul absaru. The vision, the sight, no sight and vision, physical sight and physical vision can comprehend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then it's also meant for spiritual insight. There's no spiritual insight. There is no insight, there's no spiritual perception that can do idrak of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can never truly comprehend Allah ta'ala. Even your qalb full of iman and taqwa can never fully comprehend idrak. You cannot fully comprehend Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But huwa, however, He, Allah Ta'ala, yudrakul absar, He comprehends all sight, all visions. He can comprehend entirely everything about you, your physical sight, your spiritual sight, your thought, your dreams. Allah Ta'ala can entirely encompass and comprehend that. وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. But He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Himself is Al-Latif. Al-Latif, that's why La tudrikuhu al-absar. He is subtle, His being and His essence is subtle. Subtle means beyond our apprehension and ascertaining, even beyond our understanding when we feel qurb and nearness to Him. And Al-Khabir, that is linked to وَهُوَ يُدْرِكُ الْأَبْصَارِ. He is all aware, and He is all aware of every subtlety in us, but He is sublime. You can say Al-Latif, He is sublime, and His sublimity and subtlety is beyond us. This is why some Sufis, Shah Bahauddin Naqshbandi, used to make dua ya khafi al-lutfi adrikni bi-lutfik al-khafi, that oh, whose sublime subtlety is secret and hidden, grant me idrak of that. It didn't mean that Allah Ta'ala, let me know you as you know yourself. What I meant was, Ya Allah, let me reach such a state of zikr that I just have a touch, I have a shade, I have a fraction of that lutf. Kad ja'akum basairu min rabbikum. But then Allah Ta'ala says that what has come to you from your Rabb is insights, basair, have come to you from your Rabb. Basair have come to you from your Rabb. So what does this mean? Well, this means, first of all, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us clear insights, clear visions, spiritual insights into His being, His oneness, His existence, His majesty. This is called qurb, this is called ma'rifah, this is called ilham. This is that Allah ta'ala put in our fitrah. When Allah ta'ala called all the souls together and said, Alastu bi rabbikum qalu bala. Or the Quran al-Kareem itself is a basira. The Nabuwah of the Prophet is nabira. So there are many, many things that can provide deep insight to Allah Ta'ala. Basair, many such things have come min rabbikum, from your Rabb. Faman absara falinafsihi. And whomsoever then sees clearly, views Quran as Quran, understands Wahi as Wahi, views the Nur Nubuwah as Nur, understands what taqwa is, فَمَنْ أَبْصَرَ فَلِنَفْسِهِ. They do so to their own benefit, to the benefit of their own self. فَمَنْ أَمِيَ. And whosoever is blind, does not perceive, does not recognize, does not know, فَعَلَيْهَا. Then that will be to their detriment, to their harm. It will be upon them, not for them, but against them. فَلِنَفْسِهِ, it is for them, and who is blind, it will be against them. These basair will count against them. The person who perceives the basair, they will count for them. وَمَا أَنَا عَلَيْكُمْ بِحَفِيظٍ. And then, I am not a keeper, a hafiz over you. I am not a hafiz over you. Alright. Verses 106 to 107, then specifically the message, the mission of the Blessed Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam regarding these mushrikeen. Ittabi ma uhiya ilayka, that you should follow all that. So Allah Ta'ala is telling the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, first you must do ittiba of what has been revealed to you, min rabbika, from your Rabb, la ilaha illahu, that there is no being, no deity, no God except for He. Wa a'rid anil mushrikeen, and you should turn away from the mushrikeen. Walau sha'allahu ma ashraku وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا. And if had Allah Ta'ala wanted, they would not have been polytheists. They would not have done shirk. Had Allah Ta'ala wished, they would not have practiced idolatry. But وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا. We have not made you, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, a hafiz, a guardian over them. وَمَا أَنْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِوَكِيلٍ. Nor are you a wakil or a guardian over them. You are not a hafiz of them, nor are you a wakil over them. You're not a keeper over them, nor are you their guardian. Alright. So, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has no control and hence no responsibility over the idol worshipper who decide to be blind to all the basair that Allah Ta'ala has sent, and they reject the message that He has been sent with, and they disbelieve in the Quran, and they disbelieve in His Nabuwah. All of this lies in the hidayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then a very important teaching all the way up to contemporary times in 108. Allah says this, if you will, this would be a universal blasphemy law. وَلَا تَسُبُّ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Do not insult, do not do subba, it should be more stronger than insult. Do not revile. Do not revile those things that they call upon, they pray to other than Allah Ta'ala. So don't revile their false gods. Why? فَيَسُبُّ اللَّهَ أَدْوَى بِغَيْرِ إِلْمٍ. Because lest they start reviling Allah Ta'ala out of enmity. Just as revenge for you reviling, you doing subba, the subba of their gods, false gods, that they will do subba of Allah Ta'ala out of enmity. بغير ilm, without any knowledge, without even having learned about who Allah Ta'ala truly is. كذلك زينا لكل أمة أملهم. Allah Ta'ala says, thus do we make for every ummah, every religious faith, ideological community, views beautiful their own actions. ثم إلى ربهم مرجعهم. Then towards their Rabb is their return. فينبئهم بما كانوا يعملون. And He will inform them regarding all that which they used to do. So now we're going to put a link, inshallah, in the chat box so that you can move to Juz 8. We're going to end this stream You can also, when this ends, you can go to videos and you will find the link for Gems of the Quran Juz 8, and inshallah in about 5 or 10 minutes, let's say 10 minutes, I will start Juz 8 inshallah.